Hello, it's me. I am here. Let's do this again. Get more used to having something in the background. Hello, hello. Oh, I don't have this up. My gosh. Hello. Good evening. Done. Alright. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. I am somehow extremely tired at 6:45 p.m. Don't know how. Maybe I stayed up too late last night playing League of Legends. I hopped on the #1 video game ever made, League of Legends. I love League of Legends. My favorite game. Uh, that's actually Wizardy Herbert. Does it pull up? It does. Oh my god. So, hmm. The plan, the main idea today was to check out Wizardy Herbert and the Mobius Slipknot. I may just read like a few pages. I've been overwatching and Fortniting recently. I played 2 games of Overwatch last night. Overwatch is a fun game, but I don't have my touch anymore in that game. I haven't played Fortnite in like probably a year. I think last maybe 3 or 4, maybe. It was whenever they added like the Fortnite festival stuff. So probably a few years now. Oh yeah, yeah. Damn. I did not go back to buy the anime skins like I intended. I stayed up playing Minecraft till 3 a.m. and only just woke up 15 minutes ago. Hmm. I'm still learning to be a human again. ATM. That's the struggle. Nah. My sleep schedule's really awful. I'm just glad my employment starts at 9 a.m. and not 8 or 7 a.m. like other ones I have had. Yeah. Oh my god. I do actually want to mention this thing again. Hive Swap Act 3. Uh, I did not go back and play this like I wanted to right away. I may check this out afterwards. After stream, just go double check on things. I'm curious on other dialogue and if anything changes depending on which of your friends you choose to kill or get killed. Uh, R.I.P. Darian. Hive Swap Act 3 really does have me. It does have me. Mm, I guess excited for it. Does feel like it is gonna handle itself a lot better than Act 2 does, and it's not following Act 1. It's following Act 2, so it does play more like Act 2. But I did mention I have a leaning towards certain types of characters, and they just tend to be very similar to how High Bloods act in Hive Swap. Something nice about Hive Swap compared to other Act 1 compared to Act 2 is it's easier to hate the character. It's easier to hate and like Miss Jeevik yourself. She is I forgot the term. It's like this term that's like over the top of my goes over me right now. I can't think of. It's the one where it's essentially a poser, but I can't think of it. Curious on what happens with her. With what happens with her. I wonder if she'll either not change, just become worse, become like a terrible character, like evil in a sense, or she'll fully become more human, I guess. I doubt that. I doubt it's gonna be that one though. But Kalian, I'm excited to see him and Zephyros meet, which probably won't be until game 4, if that, right? And their interaction will probably be very sparse, very like one line. Yeah. Oh, this YouTube playlist isn't working. Let me hit that button. Did it break? Did I break it? I think I broke it. Oh, no. Now it's time to have white text on the screen. Just white text. You know what? Let's put my gal Roxy up there. I wonder if like this if Roxy's thing of Wizardy Herbert is actually in a Wizardy Herbert, or if it's not. I do have the wiki open right here, fandom open. They probably say it if it is or not. But I assume it's not an actual excerpt from here, and if it is, it's like heavily edited. Time for the wizard fiction. Yes. Oh, wait. Did this thing not open? Oh. Skip this version. Don't update this yet. Wizards. Oh my god. What's up? Wait, do I not have a... Oh my. Put it up there. Gives me something to see. I wonder if it would have made sense to read Harry Potter, at least a couple pages, just to get realloc. Oh man, I'm just not thinking. To get reaccustomed to how Harry Potter is written, to see how directly it's doing things. Wizardy Herbert and the Mobius Slipknot. The excitement in the air was so thick. The excitement in the air was so thick. You could spread it like custard on a crumpet. What a marvelous summer day it was to be a child, whisking through the knee-high rye, bounding over the hills with a smile challenging one's face to contain it. What a marvelous day it was for magic. Custard on a crumpet. Okay. Scampering youths contributed to a gulf of human confetti. It was a surge of robes and floppy hats, broomsticks, mops, even a few dustpans and soap buckets. Giddy young hands clutched wands, scepters, staves, rods, switches, swizzle sticks, batons, and even an uncooked strand of spaghetti here and there. The menagerie of prospective familiars squawked and murmured a generic din of animal noises. The creatures were in various states of being caged, restrained, tamed, disease-free, alive, and the opposite of all those things in many, many permutations. Who wrote it? in universe. Rose of Rocks. I believe Roxy wrote it in universe, right? Or was it just a fanfic that Roxy wrote of what alt universe Rose made? I could actually I pull this page up. Shouldn't be that hard. Cool. Cool. Alpha players. Boom. 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 How do I? Is it this? No. Oh, it's gonna be either one of these now. Wonder. Is this one the furthest up? This one's the furthest up. Okay. Come on. Let me see the fanfic. The fanfic coming quite far in? Can't be that crazy. Must be during her section. The prose is very well spelled. Complacency of the learned. I'm pretty sure she wrote it as like a fan of her own story to be like this, right? She liked that book so much she wrote her own. Oh my god. This is taking a bit longer for me to get to. I guess actually that full screen would probably be easier to click. What is it? Rose has a. Let me go to Rose real quick, actually, too, because Rose has like a poster of it, so it would imply you can't really use the posters as anything though, but. Examine room. Yeah, she is. This one actually does. I like writing fanfics as well. I think since it was written before Homestuck, you can't say anything about the Homestuck author. You can like get the get some of it, right? It is obviously just like Hussie's thing before it, and it's just to be funny with it, to reference an old thing because it's Wizards. Because in Rose's room, she has the Hussie artwork, which you can't really use to say anything, but it's fun to be annoying like that sometimes. I feel like I passed it. It could not have been this far into it. Briglish. Oh wait, would it have even counted as a Roxy page on this? I wonder. Would they have skipped it? I am using a mod that lets me go through the things on the timeline. But she wouldn't look at it during all of this. Yeah. I must have passed it. Oh well. Forgot about that. Camping youths contributed to a gulf of human confetti. It was a surge of robes and floppy hats, broomsticks, mops, and a few dustpans and soap buckets. Stave rods, switches. There's a stave. I know what the switches is. Is it just like a... Oh. It's just another fancy staff. Or it's a plank. Either one works. Okay. So buckets gonna get The children had propped up makeshift tables and set kettles to boil. as the lads and lasses were not ones for sparing afternoon teas. Sparring afternoon tea, sparing. The shrill cacophony of whistling kettles and clinking sugar spoons barely overshadowed the racket produced by no less than 4 dozen impromptu cricket matches. Wicked googlies sliced through the air in laughter, much like, let's say, an elusive winged golden projectile fluttering about. Oh, a field in a fictional magical sport played on brooms. Doesn't really matter what it's called. Quit itching. Okay. Quit itching to flee pockets and purses was wagered generously on games of skill and chance. Dartboards awaited darts whizzing towards them on trajectories perpendicular to the googlies. Union Jacks flapped gallantly. Giant pictures of Prince Charles and Margaret Thatcher were hoisted to the heavens, their likeliness made bleary through the children's tears of pride. A vigorous vocal treatment of God Save the Queen boomed at a jarring volume, muffled patriotically through mouthfuls of meat pie and blood sausage. Somewhere in the crowd, several bobbies chased a man in fast-forward time to the tune of a humorous kazoo. The children were enamored of their newfound lot in life, and savored every moment of it. This is exactly what happened, every bit of it. Or that is, it is exactly what would have happened if the children were British. In fact, not a bloody one of them was British. They were all bloody Americans. Okay. That explains why. That's a fun way to go from purely making fun of the fact that Harry Potter's like British and everything, overly using British things and others. Are we gonna stop talking with British words, or is he gonna still use them? This requires, admittedly, a slight modification of the depictions of events thus far. It is not without chagrin that some of these accounts will be rescinded, though let the record show that a certain easing into the possibility that a reality may exist in which young people who are not British may also be enamored, sensibly spelled without a U, of magic and witchcraft. You are being asked boldly to peer through a rare looking glass into a strictly incredible universe in which the United Kingdom's stranglehold on youth-based occult and whimsical childhood sorcery is marginally less like the grim vice grip of a pit bull on a mailman's groin. Much is being asked of you. This is fully conceded. Though the abject silliness of tea and googlies and such may have been a cruel literary bait and switch, the rough picture still holds true. Though there may have been a spare picture of Margaret Thatcher somewhere in the crowd by pure chance, there exists somewhere on a grassy landscape a teenage horde of youngsters, all sorcery enthusiasts, and quite eager in a general sort of way. I'm getting secondhand cringe because this is reminding me of my first attempts to write. But if you write in a parody sense, it doesn't matter how it goes, right? Go more fun with it. There's among this horde a singular boy who will be the subject of our attention. We will note 2 things particular about this boy. Far from exhibiting the enthusiasm of his fellow children, he was mystified by the gaiety, and more than a little alarmed as well. Additionally, far from hailing from Great Britain, as the preceding deluge of bullshit might have had you believing, this boy was from the state of New Jersey. Also, I think she was probably planning to write the characters as British, but gave up pretty quickly. The world, you never know. This boy's name was Wizardy Herbert. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't got an image of Wizardy Herbert on the screen. Oh. What am I doing? Oh my god. There we go. Wizardy Herbert. In the flesh. eye patch, single gun. There we go. Kind of like fit this in there without it like being in the way. Just there we go. Herbert scanned the crowd from behind his eye patch. Was he missing something here? The robes? The floppy hats? Was this a pajama party? That kid over there, he was chasing after an iguana, and another was attempting to coax a very grumpy badger into a magnificently undersized cage. Between the jubilant cheers, outbursts of song, and dispersed chatter of nonsense one makes when speaking in tongues, Herbert concluded every one of these children must be on drugs. He began noticing a common thread among the kids, aside from the shared trait of exhibiting clinically psychotic episodes. Most of them were armed with books, children books, tales of marvelous imagination and adventure, and above all, magic. The most popular series were there. Rutherford Trick, Volume 3, The Whooping Ghoul of Flatulum, Alice Shazam, Up in Smoke, and some volumes in one of Herbert's personal favorites, Vera Valera, and The Secret Sorceress Society. This was a clue. It all started clicking in his mind. It was all starting to make sense. No, it wasn't. Herbert thought about the uninspired contents of his suitcase. Clipboards, and adding machine. Some yellow clipboards and adding machine, some yellow notepads, a visor. A visor of all things. That kid over there was wearing a billowing rainbow pattern hat. It would almost look Rastafarian if it weren't so flagrantly homosexual. He hadn't thought to bring anything magically themed, not even in a half-assed way. Like the kid over there in his father's robe, with stars and moons smeared on it, with asphalt paint from the garage. Why should he? He thought he was going to a counting camp. Wow, Wizardy Herbert's a whole lot of fun. Very, what a wonderful guy to be around. Well, I guess this doesn't imply he was excited to go there, but I have to assume so, right? But then he suspected something was askew from moment one, with kids prattling on about magic and the repeated mention of some guy named Thuttlestick. The name rang a bell for Herbert. It might have been the name of the man he guessed was the head accounting guy, or whatever you wanted to call it, but the way the kids spoke of him was not how one expected any chief accounting honcho to be spoken of. Usually the phrases great magician and wise beyond the great cosmic manifold did not appear in sentences pertaining to accountants. All aside, it was a beautiful day. High spirits and good cheer were abundant, and it was difficult to anticipate anything ominous. Difficult to anyone there, except for Herbert, who found himself wondering what Office Depot's refund policy towards clipboards was. Call it intuition. Also right in lockstep with this grave intuition was a girl, though you wouldn't know it by playful expression she wore as she approached Herbert from behind. She tapped Herbert on the shoulder. "You look lost," she said. He turned, startled to see someone wearing ordinary clothes. Me? No, not at all. I just seem to have misplaced my enchanted scepter, not to mention my potbelly pig familiar. He's all I have, and I'd be crushed if I lost him. I know what you mean, she commiserated in the silently agreed upon language of sarcasm. My magical flamingo freaked out and just took off. I'm Beatrix, by the way. Beatrix Tipplepot. Wizardy Herbert, nice to meet you. She made a peculiar face at this, and Herbert knew what was coming. It was the story of his life. So your last name is Herbert. Do people call you Wizardy? No, they call me Herbert. It's my first name. What is Wizardy then? It's like a first name? A pre-first name, I guess. So what's your last name? I don't really have one. There was a moment of awkward silence, one to which Herbert was accustomed and heavily inured. Inured? He allowed it to pass like a noisy ambulance before continuing with the conversation. Oh. That's a nice. Herbert wasn't sure what it was hanging from Beatrix's neck. A kind of locket? He was no jewelry smith, nor was he sure such a trade existed. Thanks, I'm not sure what it is either, she said, holding up the odd accessory. It was a silver disc, hollow in the center like a donut, and very much did not look as if it opened up like a locket. My sister gave it to me. This ring too. He held her hand, flashing an ornate silver ring with a pink jewel. Before she died, that is. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I've lost family too. It's tough, isn't it? Getting by without parents, she said, with a conversational melancholy. Huh? I never said I didn't have parents. Damn. People were always assuming he was an orphan. Was it something about his demeanor, his looks? It was almost as if Herbert fit some profile for a type of person others needed to believe in. A person who had lost his parents in a terrible, ominous event. A person who walked the earth as a lone, troubled soul, one day unraveling the threads of that event and colliding with destiny. One whose entire star-crossed existence would prove to be an epicenter of a dire evil which would either fall or flourish depending on the degree to which he'd realize his own inner greatness. But he did have parents. They were two very loving parents who cared for him and usually gave him what he wanted. When he revealed this to those who supposed otherwise, he was met with incredulous and frequently the additional query, "Are you sure you're not adopted?" Oh. That must be the most awkward conversation to have in existence. You know, part of me is wondering if how much Andrew Hussie's writing has actually evolved. Because this is from 2004 or 2009. Oh, wait, here are the excerpts on these pages. Okay. Yeah, so she wrote them. Okay. Oh. Says it right there. Written by Roxy Lalonde. Okay. I wanted to see when this was written. Will this tell me when it was written? I don't think so. That's fun. Ah. Pretty sure it's very old. Like predates like a lot of things. Oh. Are you not adopted? Beatrix asked, hemming. Very really. I wish I was sometimes. Herbert said nonchalantly, as if to quell her flustered embarrassment by downplaying his attachment to his parents. She frowned. Herbert mistook it for sadness, and it was his turn to feel like a social imbecile. Oh, sorry, I mean, no offense if is your situation. I kinda gathered you were implying you didn't have parents with what you said earlier. I hope I didn't make you feel bad by saying I wish I didn't, and wow, Herbert didn't have time to continue his ingratiating blithering. Because that is when some really exceptionally magical stuff started to happen. The grassy hills and blue skies are suddenly seen as if holographically projected onto luminous all-surrounding silk drapes. Those drapes billowed and fluttered in a magical breeze, then dissolved, giving way to a new surrounding. It was now a dense forest, a lush, mossy, exceptionally magical forest. Gnarled vines and creepers wrapped around each other in taut spirals, tickling mammoth leaves, molesting bulbs. Molesting bulbs? Bulbs? Molesting? And funneling toadstools. The thickness of the surrounding wood produced an element of claustrophobia, with all views obscured except directly upwards, which offered a look at the night sky so saturated with stars it resembled a prolific thief's cache of diamonds spread on a dark velvet. Herbert had to admit it was magical. He noted all the other kids, including Beatrix, were as spellbound as the sight as he was, or he would be, at least, if he weren't so cynical about magical affairs. Through the splendor of illusionary and the muscle spasms, hysterical facial expressions almost went unnoticed. Among the crowd was the silent work of nimble monkeys in dapper red suits. They efficiently gathered the children's luggage, brooms, coats, wands, animal cages, and the like, and heaped it all into one big pile in the center, ostensibly for later transport to somewhere else. What's that Keen Peels? Playing Genshin as I listen, I just lost my 50-50. R.I.P. What's that Keen Peels skit? The Glorbor Hogwarts and Glorfuls? I can't. Curious somebody's gonna name the school. I guess it is a camp. Did they say what the camp name was yet? They haven't yet, huh? Will we get that camp name? From above, echoing footsteps descended from a quietly manifesting stone staircase. It was as if a piece of a castle were being dangled from the sky, terminating with a stone platform suspended high above the pile of luggage. A pair of old brown shoes clicked onto the platform. In those shoes were sweaty feet, and attached to those feet was a pair of chubby, elderly legs. Mercifully, they were mostly concealed by ancient rags you might have called a robe if you were feeling daring with language. Emerging from rags was a chubby, smiling head with twinkling eyes and a greasy beard which had achieved dominance over the face long ago, and now only sought to make perpetual and ostentatious show of military strength. It was as if someone had forced a gray muppet through a paper shredder and glued it to the man's face. Duddlestick, she whispered. Duddlestick was a whispered chorus among the awed children. Elwyn Duddlestick was a kind-hearted man of good humor and renowned benevolence. A special wisdom and tranquility had been etched deep into his soul, much like the lines etched deep into his paunchy face, both in ways that uniquely stem from countless years devoted to magic and children and venerable life, a life which has lasted no fewer than 10,000 years, we are to believe unwaveringly. He was the type of sage who could save all. How old is Dumbledore in Harry Potter? Why would this has to be a direct thing to that, right? I guess Dumbledore's old. I'm curious now. Okay. He was 116 years old. Okay. I was wondering if he was gonna be a few hundred years old. Huh. He was the type of sage who could say volumes more with his smile than his words. and sometimes even answered questions with the odors emitting from his body. Such was his magnanimity, that he'd sacrifice all worldly pleasures if it meant the enrichment of even one benighted child. And it had seemed that such a barter arrangement had been made for the luxury of bathing some time ago. The children stood in silence, their heads craned upwards. Crickets had their say, for the first time not drowned out by the fanfare of excited youth. The scepter rested gently on the stone, while a doughy, spotted hand raised itself with the import of one belonging to a person about to speak. The children held their breath. Even the beads of sweat rolling down their faces came to a standstill at the pregnancy of the moment. Thundelstick's face broadened, revealing hard-boiled egg yolk-colored teeth. "Children," he said a surprisingly melodious voice, "with the authority vested from the spirits of this sacred land upon this humbled servant, and with all due pomp, ceremonious circuity, and pontifical profundicity." Oh my gosh, I can't read. His profundities. I hereby decree this summer camp of whimsy and the occults to be in session. Damn. So I've heard the term Homestuck accent. I personally can't tell what it is. I've been explained to it somewhat by one of my friends, and apparently he somewhat has it, and another one of my friends somewhat has it too. Is it just using just more words, more obscure words that you don't see as often, that aren't like super like weird words, right? But they're just like, oh, okay. Is that it? Is that the whole Homestuck thing? Is that just because how Andrew Hussie writes? But I have a Homestuck writing style. Okay. For a moment, you could hear a pin whistling through the air like a bomb, but you wouldn't hear it hit the floor, because at that very moment, the children detonated into a mushroom cloud of noisy exultation. Children's interlocking arms served as axles for spirited pinwheels dances, which broke out spontaneously like bar fights in a saloon. Dithering hands collaborated to hoist a crudely scribbled banner declaring, "We love you, Thundelstick!" Huh. That's pretty good. It wouldn't come as a surprise that the kid whose luggage was filled with tools of the accounting trade was not among those celebrating. Herbert always had a distinct mistrust of those who claimed magical authority. The beards, the robes, the mystifying smirks, it all ran against the grain of Herbert's good graces. He could never explain why, but it possibly was an extension of his general distaste for the idea of magic. Herbert glanced at Beatrix, though she was clearly bemused and titillated by the surrounding events. You could tell she shared some of his cautious reservations about what was unfolding. Thundelstick, as if reading Herbert's mind, magical fellows loved doing that, turned and beamed at him like a satellite dish. channeling the full vector of his oily complexion towards him, and then, through the intractable thickets of hair, beard, and eyebrows, which long ago lost the right to distinguish themselves from each other, hair, beard, brows, he winked. The wink squeezed out a white, pulsing dot of light. The light ambled lazily like a firefly, drifting downward, straight downward, towards the luggage. It nestled in the heart of the pile, unnoticed to all but the boy and girl we've been observing. The fireball was blinding, and the shockwave knocked each child to the ground. The mountain of belongings was instantaneously incinerated. One could only presume inside the raging, blood-red bonfire. Herbert looked up to see Thunderstick and his floating castle part vanishing into thin air. The children were too stunned to scream, or even contemplate fear. All that was heard was the roar of the fire. The deafening sound of the explosion was suddenly one-upped by the clap of thunder overhead. Rain fell in angry, biting stabs, and all that was heard was a steady rush of water. The rain extinguished the fire, leaving behind dreary black suits and nothing remotely resembling a piece of luggage, a broom, a wand, a book, or a caged creature. Oh, fuck. Damn, they just kill everyone's familiar? Beatrix adjusted the makeshift umbrella, providing relief from relentless barrage of ice water. The sound above was uncomfortably loud, like a stampede of tiny horses thundering across the cardboard. Oh, horses mentioned once? Herbert squeegeed his face as he surveyed the smorgasbord of human misery that was the legion of sopping, disappointed children. He didn't merely pity them. In looking at these wrenched kids in their silly ensembles, scared, cold, and defeated, Herbert noted that pity had stepped up its game. A large, round boy a few yards from him, inexplicably dressed in a Sailor Moon outfit, struck Herbert as an acutely tragic case. "I'm glad I travel light," said Beatrix, with a wry optimism regarding the incineration of their belongings. "I wish I could say the same." Herbert made an unpleasant face, but on thinking about it, he felt he wouldn't lose much sleep over a few clipboards and visors. But still, there was at least one thing he wished hadn't burned. "Let me guess. You don't have a clue about what's going on here, do you?" she asked. "You mean like the fact that this was some kind of magic thing?" he ventured. She nodded slightly and smirked. He continued, "You mean like a largely unchaperoned magic thing? A possibly deadly sort of child endangerment themed magic thing? A kind of wet, hypothermia-orientated youth jam magic thing? 'Cause no, that at all caught me by surprise." "Ah, how about you? Did you know it was a magic thing?" Herbert inquired. "I had some idea," she said. "I will say the other stuff I did not see coming. I don't suppose many would show up willingly if all that stuff was billed in the brochure. Nor would many kids in their right mind show up willingly to a camp celebrating the joys of accounting," thought Herbert. A nearby kid whose flesh tones could be seen through his moist, clinging white robe was sobbing heavily into his floppy hat, further dampening it with his eyes. Late registration. Hello, welcome. This is the guy. This is the man the story's about. Without this guy, you probably wouldn't have I forgot his name. How'd I Doc Scratch. Yep, Doc Scratch. The resemblance is uncanny. So what's now? Beatrix posed. I guess we stay dry until the rain stops. Look for shelter, find a phone to call home, then get the hell out of this place. Sounds good, except the part about leaving. I plan on staying. What? Herbert stared for a moment at the puzzling girl, who said nothing. His eye drifted upward to the surface of the cardboard overhead. Printed on the board was a corroded mud cake image of Great Britain's former Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher. Who's that? Herbert asked. I don't know. Maybe one of the Golden Girls? Herbert nodded and to sit. Tack it? Okay. Actually, I've read this word, but I've never actually said this word, I don't feel. Tack it. Okay, tack it. You understood or implied without being stated. Okay. It is just tack. Oh, I have said it. I've just understood it differently. Okay. They both trudged into the damp woods in search of shelter. Herbert ruminated on his face. And that of every child there, this was by no means fun. Sure, but at least the rain would subside, and maybe as a whole, they could figure out how to survive. There was probably one child there who hasn't fantasized about a Lord of the Flies situation in which authority was absent, children ruled, and the fun was rampant. Bear in mind that very few of these children had actually read Lord of the Flies. Maybe they could do it. They could pick up the piece after a cruel old man's hoax, restore some basic humanities to their situation, and find a way home. At the end, at least, they did not seem to be in immediate mortal peril. Just a little rain, no wild animals, no lurking child predators, it seemed. It was not as if they were being hunted by a pack of ferocious skeletons. Huh. The type of, for some reason, like, stuff like this, situations like this are generally one of my favorite setups for like a fun little story with that has a somewhat of a cast of characters. I feel like it's a good way to introduce people. Like what's probably like a really stupid one to bring up, kind of like the Chunin exams in Naruto. Like when they're all out and had the mission. It's a bit different, right? But it still has like the same vibes. Or when Ruby kind of has the same vibes of Jean and Ruby not really knowing what's going on or what's the deal, and it's just there. Where did I stop at again? Oh. Herbert almost began to feel optimistic. That's when the children were attacked by a pack of ferocious skeletons. Gigantic, shrieking, angry skeletons. Wow. On a balmy evening in a New Jersey suburb, a faint shuffling could be detected in the waning daylight. The kind of shuffling you might hear from Grandpa in the middle of the night when he makes his way down the hall to the bathroom. This shuffling, however, belonged to a hunched form negotiating to the sidewalk, pausing in front of a house. The form coughed, then opened the lid to a trash can. It picked something out of the garbage, smelt it, then tossed it back in. It turned towards the house and shuffled towards the door. A fat, ancient-looking finger squashed against the doorbell like a greasy sausage. Elwin Thundelstick was a shallow bastard of a man of dodgy morals and renowned pettiness. A special miserliness? Miserliness, yeah. Excessive desire to save money. Extreme meanness. Okay. Where was I at? Something around here, cause it's like this. No. Dodgy morals are not paying some. Oh, a special measureliness and rapacity had been etched deep into his soul, much like the lines etched deep into his paunchy face, both in ways that uniquely stem from countless years devoted to swindling children in an unprincipled life. A life which has lasted no fewer than 10,000 years. We are still to believe unwaveringly. He was the type of sage who but boom, I'm back. I'm back. I lost where I was at. 10,000 years. He was the type of sage who could say volumes more with his staggering and brazen deeds of kleptomania than his words, and sometimes even answered questions with lewd gestures. Such was his conniving. Yeah. That he'd sacrifice the enrichment of all the world's children if it meant easing the discomfort of the stubborn rash on his backside. And it had seemed that he was already working on the former, without even the promise of the latter, as a kind of twisted pro bono arrangement. A cheerful woman named Donna opened the front door. The ragged form on her doorstep animated itself and smiled, providing the first decent evidence that it might be a person. "You must be Mr. Thundelstick," Herbert's mother said warmly. A herd of where was I at? The sound. Oh, a herd of pinkmen stormed across a log bridging a river when a cluster of the band foolishly corralled themselves into the water. Falsetto pleas for help preceded a cascade of little ghosts, elevating from the plant creatures' tiny drowned carcasses. When the dust had settled, 21 were lost. Herbert muttered something vulgar. The sound of the doorbell did not divert his attention in the least from his GameCube playing. Something dreadful filled his nostrils. It must have been coming from downstairs, wafting beneath his door. His parents earlier had mentioned something mysterious in passing about a visitor tonight. He hadn't asked, but sensed the encounter had something to do with his fate. This sense tingled whenever others made plans for him behind his back. It happened often enough, usually involving his parents' good intention. Herbert was reaching the age when the instincts for contrarianism were spiking. For most teens, to get through those turbulent times most easily, it helps to be in an environment which offers them actual problems. Things like being denied what they want, or being told to behave a certain way, or if it's really not too much to ask, to be beaten once in a while. Such measures give a teen the feeling that his hormone-based antagonism complex is at least somewhat justified. Oh. This was Herbert's problem. Though he didn't know it consciously, his parents tended to give him what he wanted. Unfortunately for Herbert, his teenage insurgency would take the form of an unwitting rebellion against fun itself. He rejected most of the predilections of his peers. He yawned as kids in his class chirped about their favorite books, full of children's magical adventures. Though he did read one series, a guilty pleasure he'd never tell anyone about. There was something about a secret sorcerer's society full of svelte, lightly clad teen girls that spoke to him. Sure, he watched a lot of TV and played video games, but those activities may appear recreational to most. To Herbert, it was a form of self-imposed monastic vegetation. In spite of himself, Herbert's habits had the designed effect. It drove his parents crazy. They tried fruitlessly to get him involved in fun things, hoping to rekindle some childhood enthusiasm. Herbert speculated their efforts had something to do with the absence of their own two sons. But he wasn't about to crack the psychology books and sleuth that one out. It was certain that these kinds of shenanigans were afoot downstairs. But he wasn't about to Sherlock that one up either. Though to be fair, the weird stench permeating the house was the most compelling case against the idea. Herbert's thumb fidgeted as his loyal army slaughtered a hapless beetle and carried it home for sustenance. Would you like some tea, Mr. Thunderstick? Some coffee or tea? Oh, do call me Elwyn. He wished she mentioned Scotch in the list, but he thought better of it to ask. Best to stay focused on the task at hand. You are very gracious, but no thank you, madam. About this boy we spoke of earlier. Your boy, Herbert. Ah, there you are. There you are, Thunderstick. Is it? So good to meet you. William strode across the room to shake his hand. He was the kind of guy who would shake anyone's hand no matter what. Donna, have you offered our guest a drink? Coffee? Or maybe scotch is your drink, eh, Thundles? He said, accompanied by a jocular pat on the back, releasing a cloud of particles which would make a hazmat team weep. Thunderstick cleared his throat, looking flustered. You're both so kind. So, Elwyn, Donna begun. On the phone, we were talking about your summer camp. It sounded quite unique. Thunderstick was looking down at a coffee table, which was host to a variety of domestic knickknacks. His eyes settled on some sort of ceramic frog. Madam, I don't imagine there is any other camp like it in the world. And what was it called again? My brochure didn't seem to mention the name. Thunderstick scratched his beard and muttered something that sounded like Camp Tucket. Whenever anyone asked the name of the camp, he made up a vaguely Native American sounding word and changed the subject. He glanced at the photograph behind them. Is that your boy there? They looked at the picture of Herbert wearing a goofy smile. Yeah, that's our guy. While they were turning, Thunderstick stuffed the ceramic frog into his cloak. He's a good-looking boy. Good-looking boy. Thunderstick grunted with some effort. About this camp, Anna tried to piece together the coarsely muttered syllables in her mind, but didn't want to risk repeating them incorrectly. You said, it really is a magical camp? Thunderstick seemed to lighten up. Magical? Gazooks! We're up to our blasted necks in magic there. Really? We've got magic coming out of our... So, you and the kids, William interrupted. You do magic together then? You teach them magic? Oh my, yes. And so much more of the kids earn their magical merit badges through great feats of wonder. They learn songs and discipline and about getting along with others and making friends. It promises to be an adventure young Herbert will never forget. Thunderstick's sudden enthusiasm might have been an act to get himself closer to a fine crystal swan he'd noticed on the windowsill. You don't say, replied William. It sounds like a blast, but you should be aware. Herbert doesn't know any magic, of course. And, well, the thing is, he's a tough customer. He may not take it very readily. My friend, there's nary a child I receive who knows a lick of magic. By the end of the summer, I promise your boy will be spitting out invocations like a veteran tobacco chewer, and his strength of wit and character will feel like a spittoon. The couple paused a moment to solve the peculiar analogy. Thunderstick, with wild eyes, gestured behind them again. And whose boys? Who are they? The crystal swan disappeared into the mortifying abyss beneath his garments. The parents pretended not to notice. Those were his brothers. They suddenly seemed to be a little less air in their. There seemed to be a little less air in the room. Thunderstick wasn't sure whether to feel guilt of a thief or guilt of a social buffoon. He compromised by feeling neither. Thunderstick. William broke the silence. This sounds all wonderful, but I'm just wondering. Is there any way you could show us that this thing is legit? You mean you would like to see a permit or a license or such? No, I'm sorry. I don't want to sound too skeptical. But before I go ahead and write this check, I was wondering if you could show us some, magic. The mention of money was enough to put an additional spring in Thunderstick's step. He clutched his scepter and scurried to the middle of the room. So it's magic you want to see. Very well. If magic it is, wish you to see. He stirred the air with his scepter like an invisible batter. Wisps of glowing blue mist hailed its tip. Then magic. He raised the scepter above his head. What you will see, and pointed it at a cuckoo clock, will be. An arc of blue caused the clock to vanish. A sudden mysteriously cuckoo clock-shaped bulge manifested in the back of his cloak. William clapped his hands. That was great. Well done, Thunderstick. To be honest, I'd never actually seen that before. Magic, that is. It's quite a treat. Donna glanced at her husband. Yes, it really was, honey. I think I'll put some coffee on after all. Maybe you can help me for a second? Sure, hun. What do you say, buddy? Want a cup? Now that you mention it, I suppose I am feeling a bit thirsty, Thunderstick said while delivering a series of lip licks and conspicuous blinks, which was a kind of code a fellow drinker recognized. I would like some booze, please. Great, William smiled. I'll open a bottle. In the kitchen, Donna was not bothering with the charade of threatened coffee brewing. She stood with her arms folded. I know it sounds like a great time for a kid, William, but that man, Thunderstick, come on, dear. He's just eccentric. That man's a horse's asshole. Oh, second mention of a horse. Snapped Donna, momentarily forgetting she was in a children's book. A kindly old man reminds me of my grandfather. Wasn't much to look at, but that codger knew how to boost a kid's character. He fondly recalls summers filled with lively games such as Cane Fever and Where's Grandpa's colonoscopy bag now? Donna frowned. She knew she was avoiding the real issue. Herbert will never go for it. He'll shrug it off like all our other ideas to get him excited about something. Even if he finally agrees, he'll begrudge it the whole time. Aha, said William. That's what you think. I have a plan. He fished to his jacket. Producing a folded flyer, he opened it, handed it to his wife. Junior Accounting Camp. It really adds up for your children's future. Spreadsheets, statistics, 1040 EZ forms for kids, and more. At Newark Municipal Court Plaza, the fun begins June 3rd, 2004. Call 201-555-8387. Ask for Gene. Okay, so it was 2004 then. Donna scrutinized the document with terrible attention. The same you'd give a hobo if he rushed you into an alley for a furtive demonstration of his secret government espionage equipment, and with a finger, hushed lips, unveiled a dead raccoon. I'm not following this accounting. What about the magic camp? Herbert doesn't even have to know. Donna's face slightly relaxed with incipient comprehension. Ahem. William cleared his throat in a theatrical transition to phony Dear's Force. Now, Herbert, I think it's time we had a heart-to-heart. You're getting older, and with age comes responsibility. Responsibility is about paying the bills, and as such, it's high time you acquired some real-world, grown-up skills. Donna giggled. It spoke to their parental style that the mere insinuation of a heavy-handed approach was a major wellspring of comedy. The way I see it, William said while pouring a glass of scotch, he'll go along with it and fully expect to be in for a long, boring summer of accounting. When he sees that it's all really about magic and adventure and bonding with other kids, he'll be so surprised. Who knows? He might even just let his guard down and have a good time. Thunderstick surveyed the DVD collection, leaving mysterious vacancies on the shelf. The 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney Women's Gymnastics Competition DVD was nowhere to be seen. Whether this was the case a moment ago will be left to the speculation of the reader. Mr. Thunderstick, said William. Thunderstick sprang upright, causing the contents of his bulkier-looking cloak to jangle. No, I wasn't. I mean, yes. His eyes, independently of his head, spotted the brown liquid in William's possession. I guess we have a few more things in common. So, a few more things we'd like to know. But, you know, this place, Camp What's It? It sounds really remarkable. I'm envious of Herbert. I never had the opportunity as a boy. Anything, sir. What curiosity would you have me satisfy? There's so much to wonder, really. I would guess part of the fun would be the reading about everything in Herbert's letters. So I don't want to spoil too much. There's 3 meals a day, I presume. Oh goodness, yes, feasts prepared in the blink of an eye with the vapors of the ethereal, a bounty stretching to the horizon and back thrice per day, plus one on the 4th of July. Your dear lad will be gorged with his gorgeous plump turkey legs, surfeited with stuffing, and a cock-a-block with chocolate turtles. He had this bit down pat. Turtles, you don't say! William was easy to win over once descriptions of food became involved, and was rarely deterred when the dishes in question were actually existed. My mother's embroideries are gone, Donna hissed quietly to her right. Shush. It's an unfortunate compulsive disorder, and it's not polite to bring it up. My grandfather had it too. I laughed there, because I feel like my mother had that issue too. Thunderstick was an alert to Donna's dissatisfied posture. This was where he really prided himself in working his magic, so to speak, with the ladies. I met him. I see your concern for your son runs deep. It is touching, and only solidifies my resolve to afford young Herbert memories he will cherish long thereafter. It is a promise this old man stakes upon his humble life. From behind his back, he produced an embroidered fabric featuring a violet. His dirty fingers fluttered with plump dexterity. He pulled the flower. Oh, what was I at? I lost myself again. From the fabric, giving it the full essence of a real violet. Elwyn, it's beautiful. Thunderstick, you magnificent battle. I'll tell you what, I can't possibly think of anything better to spend this $3 grand on this summer. He pulled his check from his pocket and seemingly by the most impressive magic trick yet. The check vanished from his hand and blurred into Thunderstick's garb. No magic, however, was involved, except for possibly the fable of Avarice Cadaverous. This is wonderful. Herbert's going to have a blast, said William, with his oblivious hand still making the motion to offer the check it was no longer holding. You shall not regret it. Herbert is a lucky boy with tremendous parents. I owe you so. I owe much to strong guardian to myself. Why, if I didn't have parents like you as a boy, I wouldn't have turned out to be the man I am today. Worth drinking to. Your drink, sir. Have it before it evaporates, William said, offering the glass. Thunderstick took the bottle from his hand and held it up with a nod of gratitude. Then I'm off. I'll keenly await meeting your son. Good eve. Thunderstick bounded out the front door and down the walkway. The walkway with surprising agility for a fat old man. His loaded cloak jangled as curious gotten trinkets spilt out and littered the yard. Each bound caught the underside of his cloak with a sight parachuting effect, revealing his corpulent alabaster legs. And for just a split second, the porch light glinted off his bare bottom. Donna winced. William beamed and threw back a glass of scotch. It's gonna be one hell of a summer. Okay. It'll be one hell of a summer. But that was like a little small section of reading. That'd be good for now. But almost 11 pages completely. It's gonna be one hell of a summer. Oh, let's open up this section. Oh, these are just in the way now. There we go. Herbert over there. Create new design. Whiteboards. Whiteboard. I love whiteboards. They're so fun. They let you do whatever you want. Oh my gosh. Add a heading. It's going to be one hell of a summer. This is like a pretty solid way to start. Like a lot of stories, ain't it? One summer adventure. So, what is going on now in the story? I think it's what will happen in the story. We left off with them in their Children of the Flies section. We're gonna see what's going on with that part. I'm assuming it's gonna like subvert some expectations, or it's gonna go insane. I assume what the world. I'll find that out later. This at the moment, I kind of have like a weird headache throughout the day. We're looking at the white screen, the white text, and reading it. Like that was kind of weird. Normally I don't get headaches, so it feels weird to have one this long. I felt like I was drinking enough water yesterday, but maybe I did not. I'm wondering if we're going to see any former students who are out for revenge for the old wizard. I'm wondering if they can do like a reverse Snape type of thing. And just have like the most nicest guy be the evilest thing, or just have the evilest thing be evil. You'd be out for revenge. But what if the magic's real? What if you become a wizard though? You become a magical wizard? Isn't that enough for the trials at hand? What's a one messed up summer camp adventure for magical powers? And is it right to deny other people that opportunity? I don't know what to do right now. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a tier list. I like tier list. After that, I want revenge for him killing your familiar. Oh, what do they say? You know, you have to let go or something. Let go of all everything holding you to Earth or something. I forget what it is. Something, whatever Buddha was saying. Yeah, I'm bored, a little tired, and my head hurts. I'm gonna do what I find somewhat entertaining and just put things on a tier list. 16, great show. Scooby Doo, mediocre. Two Dogs, bad. Adventure Times. I didn't finish it. I never finished Adventure Time. Adventure Time. Never finishes. I don't really know how good it actually is. The show is kind of spad. Gumball's like the best. Never watched that. Like, I can't remember that one. Baby Looney Tunes. Okay, this was surprisingly well. Batman. All the Batman series are good. Ben 10 was good. Ben 10 Alien Force was better than Ben 10. Was Ben 10 Ultimate better than Ben 10 Alien Force? I can't remember. I didn't watch that one. Didn't watch that one. Didn't watch that. Camp Laszlo. Goated. Oh, this is looking too top heavy. I have to throw things lower. Batman, I'll throw you lower. No, Looney Tunes, I'll throw you lower. There we go. Never watched Captain Planet. Chop, Saki, Chucks. I can't remember this show. Well, part of me wants to say it was bad. How did a show start playing? Why did a YouTube movie start playing? Wait. Oh. You thought you were going crazy? Wow, wow, this stream's getting cooked. Why did the YouTube autoplay do that? That's interesting. I had a playlist selected. Wow. Huh. I guess I'll try this again. Oh, not this playlist. You know what? This playlist didn't fail me before. So I guess I'll play this playlist again. Wow. Lost my mind there a little bit. Huh. I'm scared it's gonna do it again, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's locked in the playlist. Playlist on loop. Chowder, Goated Show, Clarence. I didn't watch that one too much. I can't remember that show. Can't remember that. Cold Lyoko. Pretty good for its time. Kids Next Door is better than that. Courage Cowardly Dogs, like, damn. This is too like top heavy. I have to start trimming. But how can I do that? Cow and Chicken was good. I didn't watch Craig of the Creek. A little too. Oh, Camp Twins. Can't remember that one. Never watched that. Dexter Laboratory was always alright. Is Teen Titans on that list? I assume both Teen Titans are on this list. Oh yeah, both are on this list. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon, the TV show. That was actually all right. Duck Dodgers is I don't remember if Duck Dodgers is good. I remember Duck Dodgers being a cartoon that was always on my mind when I thought of what is my favorite cartoon when I was younger. I've never gone back to it. I do hope it holds up to what the child me thought of Duck Dodgers. Duck Dodgers, too good. It's too good is what I remember. Ed, and Eddie, solid. I like it better than 16. 16 gets down. That one. Foster's. Yeah. Garfield. Better than Clarence. Generator Rex. Generator Rex. Actually, I'm gonna like add a above. Is that how you spell potential? I don't know how to spell. You really like Generator Rex? I like Generator Rex too, but I feel like it was full of potential, and that's what his main thing was. I feel God, Generator X was great, but I didn't like how they handled how the villains were in certain aspects. At least when I was younger, I can't remember everything. I do remember feeling like it was on the cusp of being just wonderful. They had a really cool. I like the Ben 10 crossover with it. The cartoons do crossovers like they used to? I assume they do. Sitcoms don't really do that though anymore either. George of the Jungle. Guess that goes in bad tier. Green Lantern. I watched this, but I can't remember it. Billy and Mandy. I like it better than these. Maybe that. Yeah. Grim and Evil. I guess I don't remember that. He-Man. Oh, He-Man's goated. Put it right there. Puffy Amiyumi. I don't remember this show, but I remember the theme song. I Am Weasel. I mean, for what it was pretty good. Infinity Train. I never actually like fully watched that one. One I want to check out. I watched the original pilot, so I guess I just like. There we go. Watch list. Johnny Bravo. Okay, maybe I Am Weasel goes to mediocre. Johnny Test. Code Lyoko. Code Lyoko is in B tier. Code Lyoko is probably actually worse than like Ben 10, He-Man, Dexter, but I really like the concept, and I'm very biased towards anything that is like anything that is 3D animated or has sections, and especially if it has 2D and 3D. I am very interested in it, and this tends to be that. Well, this character stagnation was insane. Good thing I don't remember this show very well. I remember some things. It was a kid's show though. Can't expect the most insane things. Not everything can, I guess, be like Adventure Time. But Adventure Time, how many seasons did Code Lyoko have actually? that like 3 seasons, 4 seasons. It said 4 seasons right there. 4 seasons. I guess 4 seasons is a good amount of time to do things. How many episodes per season? About 30 episodes, or is that just for season 4? Man, Adventure Time really did pivot hard at some point then. When did Adventure Time pivot? No, I guess Adventure Time had like 10 seasons or something, right? 10 seasons, yeah. Okay. Was the pivot in season 4? Season 5's in the pivot. Yeah, they started pivoting in season 4. In season 5 is when I think it started catching on to what it wanted to be. Okay. Yeah. And then I don't think I ever finished Adventure Time. Yeah. I'd have been a little too old to actually been watching it here like in my own time. I do remember watching I watched quite a bit while I was an adult too with my nephews and niece at the time. Johnny Test. It's Bling Bling Boy is kind of funny, so I'm gonna put it there. Justice League is great. Oh wait, which one's the one I'm thinking of? Probably that. Don't know that one. Ripto. League of Super Evil. Oh shit. Oh, wait. Is this the GOAT I'm thinking? Is this the GOAT? No, this one isn't the GOAT. It looks familiar though. I must have watched at one point. I have to put it right there because I don't remember it. Don't remember that one either. Don't know Royals. The Looney Tunes show is actually kind of pretty goated for like the last like bit of time. Mad was bad, but it was there we go. Johnny Test and man, if I put those there, I gotta put that there probably. Yeah. Mau Mau. Never watched Mau Mau. I had a friend who liked Mau Mau a lot, but I never watched it. Flapjack. Great show. We love Flapjack. What is it? I don't know this one. Magic Swords. Magic Swords is Danny Sexbang in it, right? Magic Swords. IMDb. Oh, yeah. Magic Swords guy bad. Oh, it's Aaron Hansen. Oh. What? Wait. I guess what's Danny's real name? I thought he was in here. Okay. Dave, Eric. I guess I'll never know. Was it their song that was used in the theme song? It was fine. Funky Little Sword. I never. I technically watched an episode. One of my friends liked the show. I think it was mostly because of like Aaron was in there. Aaron Hansen was like I'd say probably like a semi-major figure in like a for certain, I guess, certain internet stuff in like the 2010s, right? Starbomb was all right for the time. I don't remember the show though. Don't remember that show. Wow. The Moxie show. Do I know that one? I don't. What the? What is the Moxie show? This show looks like scary, but I'm interested. Secret Saturdays, Masuno, Bakugan are some of the ones I remember. The first original CN show. Oh. Never seen real life. Not Hanna-Barbera. Oh. Chris Rock was in that, huh? Pen? 95. It was an anthology show, right? And thingy-majig. I don't know that one. Oh, Mucha Libra. That one. Put that one there. This one. Okay, so I don't think My Gym Partner is a Monkey is like a good show, but I enjoyed it very much. I think it was a lot of stupid things in there. Laszlo was his name. Oh, fuck. That was good. Ninjago. From what I remember watching Ninjago, I think it was pretty good. Oh, I like the Gym Partners platformer flash game. I never played the platformer flash game. The one of the old Cartoon Network flash games I played the most would have been. Oh, it's not here. What? No, it has to be here. Oh no, it was a Disney game I'm thinking of, not Cartoon Network. Okay, I'm thinking of a Disney cartoon. It was like the one with the three cats, like the black cat, the white cat, the orange spots, and I forget how the other one looks. Yeah, but I am surprised how ongoing Ninjago, is that what it is? Ninjago is going. Has gone. I've wanted to go back and watch this show. I remember watching this when it came out, and the release was really cool. It was like 15 or something. Yes, I've watched. I've watched the first. Did I only watch the first 2 seasons? Oh, I thought I would have watched more. Maybe I only watched the first 2 too. Huh. Well, the show had a long run, so it has to be legendary. And there's a person I watch who I think is currently doing a series where they just like yap about Ninjago. So I'm interested in it. I am extremely. I do want to watch this. Actually, rewatch that one. Finish this one because the movie looked really good too. Like how things in there did, like some of the jokes. What I like about the Lego series is Lego series know how to handle. I want to say like fourth wall humor better than other cartoons on average. OKKO. Another one I didn't really watch, but I know someone who really likes it. Over the Garden Wall is one of my favorites. I really like this one. Molasses, potatoes, and molasses. Yeah. Ozzy and Dregs. I don't remember watching the actual show. Powerpuff Girls. Uh, Powerpuff Girls is really well, like aesthetics and in like ambience. I feel like cartoons at this time were really good at that, but part of it I feel part of it could have just been like budgetary reasons, right? Because a lot of these shows don't look as complex as certain things. It's one thing that's best selling IPs ever. It's it's the shit, right? It's like awesome. You also got the power. Is there a button for? Oh, there isn't. You got the magical girl energy from it, and that always sells well and wherever you go. One of my favorite things in Powerpuff Girls is actually how they introduce is when they introduce him. I don't know how loud this is gonna be.
But what's this? It appears our girls are secretly being monitored. But by who? Oh no!
No.
I can't say it! This is a villain so evil, so sinister, so horribly vile, that even the utterance of his name strikes fear into the hearts of men. The only safe way to refer to this king of darkness is simply him.
Cool. I really love this introduction. Him is an icon. Yes. The way he's introduced, the introduction is just too good. Him's introduction. This villain is still ahead of its time. Uh, I guess Powerpuff Girls is kind of like the evolution of I guess even older like Saturday night like Saturday morning superhero cartoons. I used to watch the old Superman like cartoons from back in like the ancient times, and they're they're entertaining, right? Popeye, like they're good. It's just they always have to do. There's always certain things that always have to happen. Like they have certain rules, right? For what's it called? Keeping the reset continuity, but I can't remember what it's called. You have to keep the status quo, right? Otherwise, you can't use your same formula. And that's how like a lot of older cartoons, especially, went because there's just so you had to pop it out. I never watched this Powerpuff Girls show. This show was okay. I'll put in potential, man. The quantum realm potential. Regular show, regular shows. The only thing that should be next to Duck Dodgers. What's that one above? Yeah, the two, there. We go. Change the color on this. Make this one like gray. Uh, regular show. Then really like regular show. I dropped regular show with season 8, but the finale hit. And regular show is a lot of like what I enjoy in uh humor in general is absurd escalation. Just absurd escalation. You go do something. You want to do something simple, and you just like fucking. It just goes insane, and it makes it a lot of time in regular show. What makes it a little more entertaining is it happens from like their own hubris, right? Uh, that's one thing I like. It's also kind of why I like Gumball's here too. Chowder, Cur. Actually, I think I like Foster's better than Courage. Damn. Damn. there we go. It feels awful moving certain cartoons down. Remember when Skips put Rigby in the ER because he cheated at arm wrestling? Yeah. Uh, Skips the goat though. Skips the goat. Rigby. I don't know if he deserved to be in the ER. I think Skips was looked at as like the worst person in human history. Oh no, it was worse than the ER. He killed him. Wait, he just killed him. Wasn't it? He just killed him because Skips had to like fight for his soul. Yeah, he straight up killed Rigby in that arm wrestling, and then he cheated death. That's how that one ended, right? Yeah, yeah, he just straight up killed Rigby. Or when Benson wins Supernova after holding his anger in for too long. Rigby's development is legendary, as in Mortal's fumbles. Uh, man. I have to watch J what's his name? Jay Quenzels or something? Man, can't remember this guy's name. J JG Quentel. Huh. What's his other show is one I want is more like a adult animated show is one I want to check out. Right. He has an adult one, right? I'm just gonna click his name. Close enough. This is the one I want to check out. I've watched a few episodes of this, and I just want to finish this one in particular. Uh, this and then what's the other? This other like not. I don't think it's related. Not related to JG Quintel at all. This next one I'm trying to talk about. It's the that cartoon with like the mushrooms. Adult cartoon. Um, blue mushroom. There we go. That I should pull it up. Common side effects. This is a show I need to finish. I guess I'll go Science Friday, whatever this site is. Oh, it's a podcast or something. Good images. This show, goaded. Goaded. From at least from what I saw. And it did win some sort of independent award, I think, from somebody's thing over over some anime. People were like kind of confused. Some people were, but this show is so good. Uh, I guess what the other people make. I haven't really looked at. Oh, this is producers. Okay, yeah, this show's very good. Robot Boy. I remember watching this. I don't remember this one. Robotomy. Robotomy. This is just like robot torture porn, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what all this one was, right? Robotomy. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Robotomy. Show. I spelled that wrong. Cartoon Network. Oh wait, car. Wait, no. How would it be? Is it just it's just CN, right? There we go. Robotonomy. Oh, I put an M there, didn't I? Yeah. Oh my god. Um, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. Oh, whoa. I'm back. Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure robotonomy was just like robot torture porn. Like, I'm gonna click one episode actually just to double check. Was there more to it than I thought? They're all just like evil robots and they just get like messed up. Yeah. Huh. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, it's still better than Johnny Test. Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack is Samurai Jack, but I have my own preferences, and I think I like Ben 10 more than Samurai Jack. This Scooby-Doo show is actually pretty dope. Secret Fort Austin. I don't remember this one in particular, I don't think. Secret Saturdays. I don't remember too much about this one. I remember watching it. I actually I think I had a conversation with one of my friends about Secret Saturdays in particular. Because they're trying to think of the cartoon that they remember like liking when they were younger. And they were describing the characters, and I couldn't remember it until they mentioned the furry like character, this guy. Oh, I forgot there was like this thing. Huh. Put that above like these two. Cheap Big City. I don't remember that one. Don't remember that one. Sonic Boom. I didn't watch that. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I didn't watch that. Squirrel Boy. I did watch that one. Star Wars Clone Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'll put a Ninjago above it. Clone Wars. That's the Clone Wars. That goes above Courage. Static Shock. That goes above Justice League. Steven Universe. I never finished it. I only watched like the one season, and I watched some of the rest of it. I didn't finish it, so I feel like wherever I put it, it's gonna be it won't be correct. So I'll put it in the quantum realm potential. The fuck is Stormhawks? What? Is Young Justice there? Why, Superman? Yeah, Young Justice right here. Oh wait. Is this one of those goated shows? Hold on, please play.
Atmos, world of 1,000 mountaintop kingdoms, each protected by a sky knight against the forces of darkness. Beasts, rogues, and worst of all, Cyclonians.
I think I remember watching this show.
The greatest of all sky knights led the Stormhawks. His mission, unite the kingdoms and rid Atmos of evil forever. But he was betrayed, the Stormhawks defeated, and all hope lost. Until now, I'm Arrow, the last descendant of the original Stormhawks, and I've been given their mission. This is my squadron. Finn.
I did watch this show.
Junko, the strongman. Sorry. Piper, the specialist.
Let's do it.
Stork, the helmsman. We're doomed. And of course,
Okay.
my co-pilot, Radar. We're the Stormhawks.
They're the Stormhawks. Stormhawks, since I remember you, I'll put you under the Garfield show. I just sneezed very loud. A summer camp island, from what I've seen, that goes up here. Yeah, like, fuck, you know, yeah, I think this is the play. This one I've only watched like one season of, and my favorite character in this series was Susie. Summer Camp Island. But I feel like that's like probably everyone's favorite character in this little cartoon, at least from what I've seen. Oh, I never watched the pilot. Oh, that's interesting. Down, down, down. Huh. What is Sun Noah Pants? Sunny Pants? I don't know that. I don't know this one. I'm zooming in. Sunday Pants? Sunday Pants. Oh, that makes more sense. What is this show? 2005. So there's a good chance I never watched this one if it wasn't. Oh, yeah. Not gonna show me any more things of it, huh? Oh. Oh. Yo, this kind of looks like the coolest show ever made.
They bring it back.
Damn, wait. Oh, okay, Sunday Pants. So it said it was partially lost, so it's probably partially lost media and quite a bit of it. But yeah, zoomed in. Look at what this title was. SWAT Cats. Don't know that one or whatever it says. Oh, zoom. Symbiotic Titans. That's potential show. The show right there. Again, Teen Titans Go. I haven't like watched Teen Titans Go. I've never sat down to check it out. Like out of my own volition. But when you like babysit like kids or like you end up watching Teen Titans Go because it's kind of was a powerhouse of Cartoon Network for a while, and I actually don't know if it still is. I remember Teen Titans Go being on Cartoon Network like 24/7. It felt like when you like look at the channel listing. That was probably like 10 years, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that. So it did have power. And I did think it was more entertaining than what a lot of people gave it. So I'm gonna put this one in a potential realm. You know, yeah, right next to Steven Universe. That feels fair. Teen Titans. Teen Titans is Teen Titans. So you go into A tier. There we go. Thundercats. Is this the new one? The newer one? I don't know. Thundercats is Thundercats though. Thundercats goes up here too. Oh, Exchange Student Zero. That was interesting. What is Tig and Seek? Is that like a Winnie the Pooh thing? No, it's a whole different character. Whole character. I've never seen this. The annoying orange with Tobuscus is an instant S / joke. Oh my gosh, I never watched that one. Time Squad sounds familiar. I am a huge fan of Total Drama Island, so I'm putting that in S tier. Their Donkulous Race is bad. I never watched this, so I'm putting that one in bad tier. Totally Spies. Totally Spies was a parody of some things I liked. Oh wow, didn't catch the pulse up there. It was something I really liked. It was a parody of stuff I liked, and I thought I did it well. The biggest issue with Totally Spies is some of the theories people have on the series and like how every episode's based on certain things is really weird. It's weird for certain things they do. But I like it. Charlie's Angels. Yeah, I like Charlie's Angels and its parodies that and just general like spy things, you know, like. But who doesn't like spies? Everyone likes spies. Then even like the Charlie's Angels like old movie, the movies too, like a lot of people apparently took those movies too seriously when they're supposed to be like light and fun and with some action sequences. But Totally Spies, it's a fun show. Was Totally Spies French or Canadian? I thought this one was French, right? Yeah, French. Yeah. Oh, because it looks kind of good. It looks okay. Totally Drama is Canadian because it looks pretty bad. Okay. Never watched this Transformers show. Uncle Grandpa, goated. Uncle Grandpa is goated, but yeah, I'll give it 8. I can put it there. Unikitty, never watched it. Victor and Valentino, never watched it. Looks kind of good though. Villainous, fucking is great. Actually, I'll put it above Duck Dodgers. We Bear Bears, never watched it really. What a cartoon! That looks scary. Never watched that one. What's new, Scooby Doo? That's good. Shaolin Showdown. Shaolin Showdown. I remember liking this one, but I can't really remember it. Young Justice. Like Young Justice did a lot of stuff that like the normal Justice League stuff did, but it just kind of made more. It was more. It was better. I want to say like they did. Maybe not better. It did better for its target audience, and it targeted things that the target audience would find more entertaining. Right. I put it up there with Uncle Grandpa. Annoying Orange. So, I don't think Annoying Orange is bad. think it's better than Robotonomy. Yeah, I'll put it right there. Razor appears as Blue Lantern. One thing I enjoyed about Young Justice a lot is Kid Flash. Which version of Kid Flash was it again? It was Wally West was that one. Okay. My favorite superheroes in all comics is are speedsters or Flash in particular, different iterations of Flash. And Barry Allen's probably my favorite one just because they have like probably the best mix in all media. Hero 108. I don't remember if this show was good or not, but I do remember catching this show before I went to school some days, or yeah, here and there. Was it before I went to school? Or was it before I went? Yeah, because I would have been with. Yeah, I would have been watching this. Yeah, this would have been on. I would have watched this with a little youngin. I want to put this in potential tier. I really don't feel right putting Steven Universe in here, but I've only watched the first season of Steven Universe. So, you know, I'll add a row. I'll add a row above it. There we go. I only watched the first season. Heroes 108. I like the concept, like certain things it did, but it didn't feel. And this was like a young kid show though, so yeah. Thundercats Roar. Didn't watch it. Looks good. Batman. This is Batman. Probably my favorite Batman cartoon in general. Superman. It's Superman. Didn't watch that one. Didn't watch that one. Didn't watch that. Didn't watch that. Steven Universe Future. That's on my watch list. Oh my gosh. Wow. Kind of like an interesting list. I should check out. No, I don't know. I think it sounds fun to go back and watch like cartoons, but a lot of the time, as an adult going back, it's like okay, yeah, this is targeted for a younger demographic. And some of the series do like mature as they go on because they kind of like age up with their audience at the start. But they're still entertaining. But I feel like there's like other things I could watch and get more enjoyment out of. Has it just been repeating the one video? I don't think so. Okay, that was me making my Cartoon Network programming tier list. The 16 deserve to be higher or lower? Yeah, that's probably right. I never watched Nickelodeon cartoons growing up. The only thing I ever remember watching Nickelodeon was their, I guess, sitcoms, right? Like, yeah, it would have been their sitcoms. Because Nickelodeon was one of Victorious, Sam, and all that. Because Nickelodeon had iCarly. Because Nickelodeon had Dan Schneider, Dan Schneider. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Oh. can't remember what's going. I can't remember what happened. If like something was going on with villainous characters. There's something going on with this show, and I can't remember what it was. Cartoon characters. I'm trying to think of a certain character in this villainous thing. Oh, Miss Heed. I think Miss Heed from Villainous had something on. Had something? Did they make a song or something? I can't remember what Miss Heed did. Oh. What's next? I can't find what I was looking for. But there's like a thing. I think they made a song. I can't remember. I don't know if it was like hinting at a continuation of the series. I don't think it was. But this is one show. Villainous is a show I wish would come back. I really enjoy when characters are just are evil, I guess. Evil, but kind of whimsical. They're kind of fun. They enjoy themselves. They're okay to an extent with being evil. And back on this. I think I might change this Tuesday one up real quick and add something else, but I'll find out. This week, I do have to mention for this week I'll mention the streams will probably be a little later on will probably be later on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, and maybe Friday. I can't remember. I will be staying late for work and going into work late, so it'll be something like that. So the stream will just start later and last later. So that'll be a little different for 1 week, and then it goes kind of chaotic after that. I don't really... I think that's all I have to mention at this moment. And then back to Wizardy Herbert for one quick mention. Wizardy Herbert and the Mobius Slipknot. I think reading this, reading Problem Sleuth, reading the first like 11 pages of this, Problem Sleuth, reading Homestuck, Hussie really has a writing style. It's kind of annoying to read, I feel. To an extent, it's fun. One thing I think I've noticed is when I'm reading something Hussie's writing, I get more caught up on words and sentences compared to when someone else is writing. I felt like in the epilogues, for example, I think the reading felt like I was reading it smoother. So there's something with how Hussie writes that affects how I read it. I think I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. And it is called Wizardy Herbert and the Mobius Slipknot. So is it gonna involve time travel again? Time travel concepts and things like that? Maybe another creation type thing? Another like self-fulfilling loop? Or is it gonna be like something like that but like not real? But no matter what, with Wizardy Herbert and the Mobius Slipknot, I will never get a conclusion. When did he write Wizardy Herbert? He wrote Wizardy Herbert in 2004, I believe. But he never finished it. So we only have about 200 pages to read, and I hope I don't get super interested into it. But I guess part of the things one thing I like about like enjoying like media isn't exactly like the ending, right? It's everything building up to the ending. It's like your thoughts and what you think could happen as you're reading or going through anything. It's kind of what I like. What makes a lot of shows and things that are actually kind of bad more enjoyable to me, because they kind of like hit the right spot for imagination and thought. It is from his early years. It is from his early years, before a lot of things. And I need to go back and still look at his other MSPs, MS Paint Adventures, MSPAs, Jailbreak and Bard Quest. They look interesting. Because Jailbreak was done on a forum site, I believe, right? Or was there one before Jailbreak? I'm pretty sure Jailbreak was the one that was done on a forum. I guess I can't fully remember. One of them was on a forum, and I think I read something of there's a point where he toyed with the idea of having two different universes or two different parts of the story playing at the same time with two different user submissions in this forum. That idea seems kind of interesting, but that just like adds a lot of extra work and then makes a lot more of a mess for certain things later on, right? But I like how he plays with the medium. I'm curious on how Cyclonials is gonna be. That one I feel like that one I kind of hope is just a normal visual novel to an extent, where you don't really make, I guess maybe not make toys, but like just like a story in a visual novel format. I think it would be interesting to see if it is that. It'd be fun to see Hussie just write a story without being like super obtuse about meta things. What is the plot in Cyclonials? Cyclonials, it's a you're an influence. You follow an influencer. You follow an influencer, and then there's a clown cult being formed or something. It's just, and that's like the main thing I can remember. That has me curious. I've mentioned clowns kind of give me the heebie-jeebies. Even the slightest depictions kind of make me feel uncomfortable to an extent. But not in an awful way, just in like a weird way. So that'll be fun to check out. But okay, I think it's about time to end. It's about 2 hours 20 into it's 9 p.m. Yeah. It would have been cool if the alpha and beta sessions were occurring at the same time, but it's written in a way that we don't know they're in different universes until the scratch happened. I dig. Could have been cool. An issue with like doing something like that though is how would you like It's the idea, like anything like that is kind of cool. It's the way this story plays out. Feels like this is just meant to tell two different things, right? It's supposed to be a play on this. I guess like the best point you could do something like that though would have been like Act 5. You could have introduced them in that type of way, because you wouldn't be able to show them in the way it was written like this unless it was from the start. Be kind of cool. You would just have them parallel, each character parallel each other, and you would just think it is an alternate universe because it is an alternate universe version. And then you would eventually, and you would probably make the connections of going, oh, it's if these people were these people. I wonder how like payoffs would feel though. Because then your whole feelings would be up to, I guess, that meeting, and that would be the biggest thing there. Yeah, the unfortunate reality is that it'd be a lot of work. And there's probably a few things that do that same concept. Oh, I forget how long Act 6 is. Yeah, wow. Act 6 is Homestuck Part 3 and 4. Wow. Wow. Is the Elva Kid instead of Alternia? And Act 6 was so long, but I still wish Act 6 was a little longer. Just a tad bit longer. My biggest issue with Act 6 of Homestuck is Dave Petta sprite squared. Worst character in Homestuck. Yes, yeah, that's a good way to end the stream. That's the worst character in Homestuck. Dave Petta sprite squared. Thank you for that. Hearing that one opinion. Okay, so this is the end of the stream for realsies now. I will be back Tuesday. I may be a little later on Tuesday, but if I am later on Tuesday, I will be doing things longer. And yeah, as usual, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here,